Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is GameMaker Rob with the third part of the battle system tutorial. We'll complete all of the possible options from a magic menu to inventory and running away, as well as a defensive bonus if you use that option. I also show you how to import stats from another object to give you an idea how you can achieve this in your own games. Let's get to it. Okay, so because I've decided to have an extra part in the series, it means that we can spend a bit more time fleshing out the system we've got in place already for a single hero and a single monster. The main part of this really is we're going to be covering a magic system, an item system, running away and defense. Running away and defense isn't going to take too long. It's just a few variables. The other two systems, we're going to be drawing information from a global array that's going to be stored in another object, because in your own games, in my game, you're not going to be storing this information in the battle object system, because we're going to be having one of those in every room that you want to battle in. You're going to have, well, I'd recommend having one main object that stores all of the main arrays that you draw data from, and we're going to be using that kind of system for this. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new object. We're going to call it obj main, and we're going to click on the persistent box like that, and in the create event of this new object, we're going to say create magic array, and this one is just going to hold the information of what the spells do, and we're going to have two spells. We're going to say GA magic 00 equals heal, so it's a spell called heal. GA magic 01 equals we'll say 4. GA magic 02 equals 8, and one last entry, GA magic 03 equals 2. So what these values are: heal is the name. This first entry is going to be minimum hit points healed. The second value is maximum hit points healed, and this value is going to be MP used per heal. And I'm in two minds about the second one, because if you think about it, really, all healing does is add numbers, and any kind of damage magic just takes numbers away. So rather than having another entry saying GA magic 04 equals 0, and what this would be the type, so healing, and then 1 would be damage. Instead of this, we can just check to see whether these two entries add or subtract, and if they add numbers, then it's going to be of benefit, so it's going to be cast on the user, and if it takes away numbers, then it's going to be used on the other person. So GA magic 10 equals hurt, GA magic 11 equals -2, GA magic 12 equals -4, GA magic 1 3 equals 2. Oh, there we go. There's the mistake. Let's change this to 4 magic points used. Okay, so there's the magic array. Let's do an inventory as well. Create inventory array ga inv 0 equals 0 ga inv 1 equals 0 ga inv 2 equals -1. What these values are is whether it holds an item or not, and if it does hold an item, then what item is it? And if it's 0 1, then it's empty, there's no item to be used. And we do need to have another array, so it will say create item array ga item 0 0 equals herb or herb ga item 0 1 so we'll say it heals 2 hit points, and the maximum is 2 hit points, and ga item 0 3 0, he doesn't use any magic. The thing with items is there's different types of you can have items that do damage, items that heal, but there's also other items you can use to maybe escape from battle, that kind of thing, and in that case you would need another entry like this. So 0 4 equals 0, whereas 0 is heal, 1 is damage, 2 escape, 3 cure poison, and then you just do a check inside the game to say if ga item current item 4 equals 2, then run your escape code, which, to be honest, you can just copy the escape code that we use in the run option, because it's just going to be running away from the battle. So if you break down what things do inside the game, you'll discover there's quite a lot of similarity, and you can reuse bits of code as you like. Okay, so this will do for now for our array. The only thing we didn't do is we're going to be naughty and use global var. I'm going to be using this until it no longer works, because I hate typing global dot all the time. So global var ga magic ga item ga inv. And just in case you haven't heard me say this before, the reason global var is a bit naughty is because it's kind of what they call legacy code now. They still support it, but they'd rather people use global instead. Yeah, but as I said, I hate typing global dot, so for as long as I can use global var, I will be using it. Okay, so inside the create event, we're going to have 2 new variables for the magic system. We're going to have show magic options equals false, and magic option equals 0. And these are basically similar to selected option. So which spell are we using, and show magic menu or not. And in the step event, we want to scroll down to where we are choosing which option, and we don't want to show the battle text straight away if we're choosing a magic spell or an item. So we're going to say if selected option is not equal to 2 and selected options not equal to 3, then show battle text. Then we're going to say if it's either 2 or 3, so if selected option is equal to 2, which is magic, then all we want to do is we want to say show magic options equals true. And we're also going to be using this code for it as well. So here we want to say if not, show magic, because we don't want to be moving the options around when we're in the magic menu. Else if show magic options, then we can copy this code and just amend it. So with keyboard check pressed VK down, if magic option plus 1 is less than or equal to the length of a magic text. We haven't made this yet, we will do in a minute. Then plus plus, otherwise go back to 0. Same again for this, if keyboard check pressed VK up, if magic option is -1 is greater than or equal to 0, then minus, otherwise go to the bottommost entry of a magic text. Cool. So let's just create the magic text array. A magic text 0 equals heal. A magic text 1 equals hurt. And now we have to draw everything. So we can delete this because we don't need it anymore. And we're going to say if not show magic, else. And I'm going to say var j equals 0, j is less than a magic text, sorry, the array size of that. So array length 1D, magic text goes in there, j++. Just check this. Then we want to draw the text. Let's just put in the X and Y first. Magic X equals option X plus 100 for magic Y equals option Y. Copy this, put in here, change option X to magic X. We don't need to have shake X in there because the magic's never going to be up when the screen's shaking. Take out shake Y. Change the I to a J. And we're going to assign text as well. Text equals a magic text J. And we also want to draw the arrow. So if magic option is equal to J, copy this. And we want magic X, magic Y, and change the I to a J. Let's just check everything. So let's run the game, and we should now have a magic menu to choose from. Cool. So we've got a magic menu in place. It just doesn't do anything right now. Okay, so before we continue, the next thing we want to do is grab all of this code where we're first pressing the space bar and choosing an option. It's all of it. Let's just check. Grab all of this and we want to move it into this bit at the bottom, because we only want this to run if we're not showing the magic menu. Just checking it's in the right place. Cool. Alright, so now in show magic options bit, so let's put some comments. Show magic menu. Here, choose spell. So if VK, if keyboard, check pressed, VK space, if magic option equals 0, this is going to be heal. If magic option equals 1, it's going to be hurt. And we need to check that the player's got enough mana to cast spells as well. So mana cost equals GA magic option and 3 is magic cost. If player MP is greater than or equal to mana cost, then run this. Else, not enough MP. Loses turn. And before I forget, let's just add our new object into the room. Just delete the battle one just to make sure main is created first, and then drag in battle afterwards. There we go, cool. Right. So we're going to have a new variable. I'm going to call it heal hurt. So if magic option is equal to 0, then player hit point, no wait, if player HP plus heal hurt is less than or equal to player max HP, then player HP plus equals to heal hurt. He just gains that value. Else, player HP equals max to player max HP. What's this syntax? What have we done? Okay, cool. And at the bottom, just so we don't forget, we need to say player MP minus equals to mana cost, so we lose the mana. And we also want to add in some messages, so DS messages 0 equals player casts, and then a magic text, magic option, and then and heals for string heal hurt. Okay. Now we're gonna create a script for heal hurt, and we want to do it before we check the options. So we're gonna say heal hurt equals script heal hurt, and we're going to use this script to return the value, which will heal hurt will become that value. Right, so let's make the script now. SCR heal hurt, and option equals argument 0, min val equals GA magic option and 1, and max val equals GA magic option 2, and total val equals I random range min val max val. Return total val. So all we're doing is we're grabbing the information from our persistent object to make sure we're getting the right stats for the spell. Minimum, maximum, it's going to be a range of, is it 4 and 8 or something for heal, and -2, -4 for hurt. Then we're going to get a random number between the min and max and just return that value. And the heal hurt's going to become this. So back to the step event. Just make sure there's no error messages first. We did assign argument 0. So this should go away. Right. So if we're casting hurt, then DS messages 0 equals player casts plus a magic text, magic option, messages, oops, 1, and monster takes now. Heal hurt's going to be a minus value for this one because it's -2, -4. So it's either going to be -2, -3, or -4. So we're going to put a minus next to here to make it a positive number, and we're going to say monster HP plus equal to heal hurt. Alright. And if we don't have enough mana, then DS messages 0 equals player tries to cast a spell. DS messages 1, but the spell fizzles, not enough mana or MP do. And once we've pressed space, we want to continue the battle. So keyboard check press space, the bottom, continue the battle. And we want to say show battle text equals true and show magic options equals false. If I remember correctly, the only extra thing we need to do now is check for a victory. Where is it? Oh, is it above? I think it's above, isn't it? Yeah. So sorry, where are we? Attack. So if monster HP is less than or equal to 0, just going to copy this and we're going to paste it into the hurt. This T34, cool. Just check as well if you've got anything different, if you've got more messages than I do. Check that the victory message is going to follow on from the magic ones. So I've got player casts, monster takes damage, and then 2 monster dies, and then you get the victory stuff going on. Alright. I think I'm ready to test it. I think the only variable we need to initialize is going to be player MP. So in the create event, player MP equals 10. Let's run the game. Let's do hurt. Player cast hurt. Monster takes 2 damage. So we should only have 1 left now. So we cast it again. Player cast hurt. Monster takes 2 damage. Awesome. It's working perfectly. Let's just play and take some damage. So we'll defend. Okay, now we took damage, we can cast heal. Cool. The only thing I don't like about that is that we got our hit points back instantly, and I want it to happen on the actual message where it says player gets his hit points back. Alright, so we want to scroll down to where we heal the player. In this bit where we have heal, and we're just going to comment out this for now. Copy and paste this code, and in the messages section, right underneath where it says if this is an attack, we're going to go if healing, if battle option equals 2 and it's the player's turn, oops, and the message counter is equal to 1, then we want to do this code. Let's run the game, test it. I'm going to skip the video to where the monster hits because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of misses first. So we've been hit, cast heal, and we get our hit points back. Cool. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the item menu. It's basically going to be the same thing as Magic, and if I was going to design the whole thing again, I wouldn't keep copying and pasting the same code. I would just make one kind of arrow system and one script system, but it's going to take too long to change it now, so we're just going to stick with what we've got. It works, so it's fine. And before we start, we're going to delete this message. We don't need it on line 114. Inside Magic, if selected option equals 2, and we don't need this either. Inside item, because we're going to declare the messages when we later on in the code. Okay, so we're going to add a new variable. So if player turn and not show battle text and not show item menu, or actually inventory. Inventory. Okay. So if none of this, that's not right. Oops, my bad. It wants to be down here next to show magic. So we've not show magic and we're not showing the inventory. Oh my god. This went better when I was doing the dummy run. So this is normal, and then down here, else if show magic options do this, if show inventory, then we're going to be doing this. I'm going to say we need to copy this first. For the arrow keys, and instead of magic option, we're going to use inv option for inventory, and we're going to be basing it off the GA-inv global inventory. Okay, cool. And now, if we press space, it wants to be at the bottom here. Basically, we've got 3 sets of code that's very similar. We've got one for the main menu, one for magic, one for items. Like I said, it'd be better to have one system for all 3, but we're not going to change it now. Okay, so let's just check the magic bit. Check. So we want to check, we want to say if inventory slot is not empty. So if GA inv, yeah, and then inv option it's not equal to -1, so it's not empty, then we're going to do a script item, and we need to check really, item inv option, oops, cool, and we need to check what type of item it is. So if GA item, and then we want item 4 is equal to 0. We've only got one type right now, and that's healing. Item equals GA inv option. This can be a var because we're only going to need it for this bit. Okay, so if it's a healing item, actually let's not use this script here. We'll just use these heal hurt scripts, I think. Can we use that? No. Let's make a heal script then. Script heal. And no, let's make an item script. So scr item. And let's say option equals argument 0. Item type equals GA item option 4. If item type is equal to 0, output equals irandom range, and we want min val max val. And then we're going to say return output. Min val will equal GA item, and it's option and 1. Min val max val, sorry, equals GA item option 2. Okay. So back into the step event. If type equals healing, then heal value equals script item. And DS, oh, we need to put inv option as well. DS messages 0 will equal player uses, and then plus the item name, which is GA item 0. And then we'll add an exclamation mark on the end. DS messages 1 will equal and is healed 4, and then string heal val plus HP. Okay, and we need to then continue the battle as with magic. No, not here. Yeah, sorry, here. So if there's an item, use the item, get the messages, otherwise, and then continue the battle. We're going to add in a back button as well, but I just want to test this first. And as with the magic, I want the actual healing text, the healing value to appear after when the message is displayed with the hit points. And one thing we need to do as well actually is, after we've used the item, GaInv option equals -1, so we'll remove it from our inventory. Cool. So if healing so if battle option equals 2 or battle option equals 3, then we want to we can't use that unless we change the variable name to heal hurt. We can do that. Let's do that. So instead of having heal val, we're going to change it to heal hurt. And let's just add some notes as well. Gone past it. Feeling magic or item. Cool. Let's just test this now. And it's going to crash because I haven't set up our values. Show inventory and inv option. Where's our magic stuff? That should be in here. Did I put it in the create? Yeah. Just take this magic stuff out of the create event and put it in the step event because you want it to reset every time. Okay, and we need to check that we're showing inventory as well. And actually, rather than have this bit here, we don't really need it there. We're going to put it in this bit. It'll make more sense. So delete this. Okie doke, and we need to reset show inventory to false. Right here. And now we have to draw everything. So let's have a look. If not showing magic and not showing inventory, then draw our normal menu, else, and we want to put if show magic, then do all this. And then if show inventory, we can do something very similar. So I might as well just copy this whole thing, put it here. We're going to call it item X and item Y. We can leave it as J, but we need to set it on GAINV. Text equals. We want to say if GAINV J is not equal to -1, so if it's not empty, then text will equal GA item option 0, which is the name of the item, obviously. That's wrong. We want item equals GA inv item option, and you want to put item in here. Cool. So if it's empty, get the name of the item, else text equals empty. So if there's no item, it shows empty, otherwise we display the item name. And if item option equals J, draw the arrow, and then draw the text. Just give it a once over. Okay, let's run the game. Let's defend. Crash, item option not set. Draw 42. Have we misnamed it? Oh yes, it's inv option, isn't it? My bad. Okay. I should check I don't have it in there. Just search for item option. Okay, let's try again. So I've fixed one bug. Instead of inv option, we want J, because we're iterating through all of the inventory. And we've got a new bug. Okay, so the second bug was that we were sending the inv option to the script, and we should be sending the item. And in the script item, it would make a lot more sense if we typed item instead of option. Okay. And I don't think we're resetting the inventory. thought we'd done that. Okay, so we want to put here on inside show inventory under continue the battle. We want to put show inventory equals false, and that should do it. So let's just test this whole thing. Let's take some damage, use an herb, and make sure the battle continues properly. So use the herb, uses herb, gets hit points back, battle continues. Awesome. Working as intended. Let's just try one more time. Uses an herb, healed again. Can't use any more items, and now we can't also back out of it, which is the next thing that we want to code. Let's have a look. So inside show inventory, actually all we need to do is say let's check it's going to be in the right place. So here, if show inventory or show magic options, and the comments here will be back to main, not main menu, what do I want to call it, back to main options. And we'll say if keyboard check pressed VK backspace, then all we're going to do is we're going to say show inventory equals false and show magic equals false, because you might not want to choose a spell, you might not want to use an item. Let's just test this now. Cool. So for our next trick, we are going to do the defend option. In the create event, no, actually step event, we want to have under player dead, we're going to say player damage mod equals 1, and we're going to multiply any damage done to player by this mod. Now this is going to be useful for enemy spells as well as defending spells or defensive posture, because if we're defending, then we can just set it to 0.5 and any damage is halved. Or if we get hit by a spell that does double damage for say 3 turns, then the damage mod can be 2. So we can use it for a wide variety of things. So player damage mod equals 1, and we want to go into selected option equals 1, player defends, and player damage mod equals 0.5. One thing we should do is at the start of the player's turn is player damage mod equals 1, so just reset it back to what it should be. And the only extra thing we need to do now is when the player is damaged, we just need to say brackets damage times player damage mod and floor it, and that's it. that's defense done. After some testing, I've noticed I haven't checked to make sure that there's going to be at least one damage point. It's always a bug. So we're going to say, sorry, just copy this here. Damage equals floor damage. If damage is less than 0, damage equals 1. No. If damage is less than 1, damage equals 1. There we go. Okay, so that was pretty fast, and running away is going to be equally as fast. In the step event inside the initialization, we're going to have one more Boolean variable. We're going to say runs away equals false. I thought about using player dead for running away, but if we're going to be using player dead to takes us to another room, like a game over room, then that's going to mess us up. So it's just better to use an extra variable, even though the point of all this is trying to minimize the amount of variables we're using, but sometimes you have to use one because it just makes sense in the long run. So now we have our variable. We're looking for selected option number 4. So Brave Sir Robin should be tries to run very bravely. Yeah. Fail, succeed. If you fail, and if you succeed, then runs away equals true. And then in our message area, so after we've shown all messages, if player dead or victory or runs away, then exit out of the game. So let's run the game. Not exit the game, exit the battle. So let's run the game. It worked when I tested it, so hopefully we don't get any bugs. Brave Sir Robin tries to run away very bravely and runs away. Battle over. Cool. Job done. Okay, so before we continue with the final part, I've noticed a few bugs that weren't apparent before. We're just going to get them solved ASAP. So inside the inventory menu, which is here, you want to get this piece of code and we want to put it inside just here. That's where we need it. Okay. So that's one bug fixed, and the next one, we're going to need a new variable called player shown HP, and this is going to be what's displayed in our draw GUI event. So we're going to change that now. So scroll down to where we draw the player's HP there. So draw text and just change player HP to player shown HP. Okay. So if you remember, we commented out this bit of code. We actually are going to need this. So uncomment it, copy it, and we need it in the healing part as well. Just about here. That's perfect. And we'll change it as we get to it. So in here, we're not going to change the hit points of the player here. We're just going to say player shown HP equals player HP. And we're going to take this out as well. We need to have changed this, but we'll come back to it. So in the enemy bit, it says damage equals irandom 1 plus 1. Damage equals floor damage times player damage mod. Player HP minus equals damage. That's great. Okay. And we're updating this in the messages. Just there. That's great. If players attacked. And the last thing we need to change is this is the bit of code that was really giving us the main problems. So just delete it and say player shown HP equals player HP. What was happening is this code was being run like 2 or 3 times, whether the player was being attacked or using a magic spell himself. He was damaging himself repeatedly, getting healed repeatedly. It was just a bit of a mess, all because of this bit of code that we moved. That should be it. So let's now run the game. Do some testing. Hits for 0 damage. Oh yeah, we didn't do a check. So let's just say if damage is less than 1, damage equals 1. That's all we need. Cool. So for the last part of our tutorial, I've done a little bit of preparation. I've just added 2 more sprites because we're going to now add a monster array. This is just to show you how you would import your own creatures into the game, in case you don't know how to do it now. So we're going to have a new global called GA monsters, and we'll say create monsters. I'm going to say GA monsters 00 equals slime, and 10 is going to be a creeper, and 20 is going to be a demon. GA monsters 01 is going to be its hit points, so we'll give it 3. The creeper, demon, creeper can have 5, and the demon can have 7. So min and max damage for the slime. Creeper will be 2 and 4. And demon will be 3 and 6. There we go, right. So we've got our array sorted out. Back to the battle. We're going to add some new variables. So where we have monster HP equals 3, we're going to delete that for now. We need monster type equals irandom total monsters. total monsters equals array 2D height GAE monsters -1. Check the spelling's right. Cool. Now we want monster name equals GA monsters monster type and 0. Just copy this, paste it here. Monster HP equals 1. Monster min damage equals 2. Monster max damage equals 3. Just going to check I've got that right. Pretty sure I have 2 and 3. I've done there. I've changed these values by mistake. It's a good job I checked it then. 3 and 6. There we go. I've done this about 5 times. The bugs were really giving me a bit of grief, so probably be going a bit too fast. But this bit's pretty easy now. Now that we've assigned all these new variables, we can just go ahead and update everything. So scroll down to the enemy bit, and instead of damage equals irandom 1+1, we're going to change it to irandom range, and then it's going to be monster min damage and monster max damage, and that's it. And we're going to add in the monster name. So this now becomes monster name plus this. Just going to do a search for anywhere where we have the word monster in capitals. So we have it right here. So delete this. I want monster name plus this. Search for the next one. Here as well. And the last thing we need to do is in the draw GUI. So where we are drawing the monster, in this bit where it's asking for the sub image, we're just going to use the monster type variable that we've created. One extra thing I want to do is draw the name above their head. So we're going to say draw set VL line FA bottom draw text, and we want MX MY minus sprite get height SBR monster. We'll leave it like that, see how far up it goes, and then we want to draw the monster name, and that should be it. Let's run the game. Might be for the last time. Just need to draw it to the left a little bit. Let's make sure it's working. Demon attacks. What misses? Let's cast a spell. Ouch. Let's heal. Kill him. Oh no, we're gonna die. Oh yes, got him. Good job. So let's just change it to draw set H line FA left middle center. Yeah, that's the one. Much better. Let's kill him with our overpowered magic. Should die now. Oh no. Ooh. Kill him. Cool. And then what else do we get? A slime. Shouldn't be any trouble for us. Cool. And there we go. This is all you are going to need, as far as I'm aware, for a single hero versus a single monster. One thing I wanted to add into my own game that I was thinking about doing a tutorial on was having multiple party members as well as multiple enemies. And that's going to be a video of its own, part 4. It's probably going to be next week that I make that. So I will see you then. Bye for now.